episode here. Have we done the voice thing?
Okay.
Studio. Have we tried that?
We've done it in the past. Are you wanting to try it tonight?
I wouldn't
Define
mind.
try.
It would. I mean, we could all still.
Do our recording?
I'm trying to think. I mean,
We all still do our recording,
okay,
but we do the studio. And
sure.
if it turns out well and we don't have a lot of glitches and
I
stuff,
just
then we
lost
use
all audio.
all of it.
Oh, it's back.
It's because we were switching to studio.
Oh, can you hear me now?
The bad thing about that for me is my studio doesn't sound that good
No, it doesn't.
because I'm using my mic in my other computer.
Oh, that's
So
right. I forgot.
if you want to do the studio, I'll just plug this mic into this computer. The only downside is I won't be able to record a track just in case.
Oh, by the way, that hiss was my mic cord up against the power cord.
Let's just record our own audio tonight. I don't want to lose everything if we have a problem.
I'm going to take the studio back off for me then.
Yeah, I took mine off.
Because it
All
doesn't
right.
even matter when I'm using
I'll
this
take mine off.
headset mic.
All right, so let's just try to do a half-hour episode tonight, and just do take it or leave it.
Okay.
We didn't get letters or anything, right?
Oh crap! I meant to get a. Let me
Nothing
grab
from
my
Keith?
iPad before we actually start.
Keith didn't make a return.
Good old Keith.
No. I think he was busy this week.
I can read this letter we got from Alan Boone for Sasquatch.
Yeah, I'm sure Paul and I would have a lot to talk about there.
I don't even think Paul knows I do a Bigfoot podcast.
I don't think he does. He might. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about tonight. Yeah, I forgot for a minute.
All right. Oh,
I'm
Ugh,
hungry.
you're hungry.
I'm seriously barely awake right now.
I had Texas Roadhouse for lunch.
No.
Yep, I did.
What'd you have for dinner?
Rallies.
Good Lord!
Yeah,
How are you still alive?
it's a good question. I had a 10-ounce ribeye for lunch.
That's not allowed.
I got this today.
Oh,
What
I
is
want
it?
it.
I can't
Oh,
even.
it's beautiful.
It is so.
What is Adventure Time again?
Yeah, but it's the Enchiridion edition. It's a limited edition. I'm pretty sure they only had it basically at San Diego Comic-Con. And then
Son
some
of a
retailers wound up with extras.
I don't know what the heck I'm going to review on the show.
I
guess
know
I'll
what
talk
I'm going to review.
All right, are we ready? Let's get into it.
I'll give you a hint.
I'll give
I like
you a
Turtles.
Oh man, I haven't read Turtles.
Ah,
I
It's
just got it
not
today.
Turtles.
I went and picked
Don't
it up.
worry.
Oh.
oh,
We're gonna review Doctor Who.
oh yeah, Paul and I are going to do the.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
girl.
let's go.
Let's do it. Episode 120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right.
All right.
Do you guys have Menchie's there in the frozen yogurt?
Yes.
No.
They have
It's like Froyo's.
yeah, they have we just went there earlier. They have two different Oreo flavors now. One is the cookie flavor, Oreo cookie, and the other is just the frosting flavor. So it tastes like Oreo frosting. It's incredible.
Oh my
I
god.
want it. I want some right now.
Sounds good.
It was a miracle from heaven.
Mm.
I like Kevin.
Let's record.
We're like Kevin Bacon.
I'm doing a test recording real quick just to make sure
Yeah, test record that.
I'm good. Now I'm in.
All right.
I'm good.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on.
Oh.
I'm like ready now.
Okay.
Oh, I started.
Well, go back. Start over.
Too early. Too early. Eject. Eject. That's not supposed to sound as... Okay.
Let's move on.
Now I hit record.
All right, you ready?
Should I have hit record then?
No. All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
You're listening to Ancillary Characters, episode 120.
Who are we? Who are we? And who are we dealing with?
Who the heck are you?
Who do you think you are? I don't know what you're talking about.
Who are these sick people?
And who are these two attractive young people?
Who are those guys?
Ancillary Characters podcast, the podcast of the website ancillarycharacters.com. Episode number 120.
100.
It's unbelievable that we've made it this far.
I agree.
You're right.
120 episodes. We're at about 2.5 plus years at this point of doing Ancillary Characters. And every time I think of that, it blows my mind. I can still remember the glory days when Paul and I were just kicking around the idea of a comic book podcast.
Yeah.
That we were going to record with our crappy AV mic,
built-in
mic, my headphone jack mic that I had that was one of those, the glory days.
Like an Xbox headset, basically. I mean,
the glory days of the Flying Saucer Cast.
And not even like a Turtle Beach headset. It was like one of those Logitech $3 headsets.
It really was. It was a miracle, and those podcasts are still floating around. In fact, I think Alan still has them.
Yeah, they're on my laptop somewhere, my old one. Mm-hmm. So as long as the hard drive has not corroded, then they're on there. So I haven't cracked that thing open in over a year, probably.
Happy Labor Day if you're listening to this show. Sorry it's a little late, but this is the episode for last week.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because it's I'm sure everyone was busy with Labor Day weekend, probably out riding roller coasters or shooting bear in the woods or something.
Sanding pallets.
Sanding pallets. Standing on pallets.
Okay.
So I don't know, we were talking a little bit about food earlier, and Paul was telling us about his caloric intake for the day, which matched a bear, it sounds like.
Pretty much.
But I've started going down to Giant Eagle and buying stuffed burgers that they make. They have them in the deli. And today I bought one. It was cheddar and bacon stuffed. And the other one I had was mushroom and Swiss stuffed. And it was incredible. I also took a couple of jalapenos and threw them on top, and then threw some pepper jack cheese over that. So I actually probably matched Paul for caloric intake in my dinner, and then I went to Menchie's and had frozen yogurt.
I had leftover Chinese, followed by a Heath Klondike bar, and a plum.
And a what?
A plum.
A plum. Are you being real about the plums?
How does the plum fit in?
It don't. I was just still hungry, and I drank some green tea.
I'm picturing you double fisting a plum. Like you got a plum in one hand and you got a Klondike bar in the other, and you're kind of going back and forth.
Oh yeah, that's how it happened.
My mother-in-law was in town, so we went out with her and my wife's two of her younger siblings to Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It was supposed to be a trip to E-Town, which is about 40 minutes away, and it became a Louisville trip, which is about an hour and 10 minutes away.
That's far away.
Which is why we're recording so late. It's all my fault.
E-Town,
so blame me.
Home of my favorite Orlando Bloom film, Elizabethtown.
Your favorite Orlando Bloom film?
My personal favorite Orlando Bloom film.
You personally favor that over all 3 Lord of the Rings films?
Yes. I'm not exaggerating. Elizabethtown is probably a top 20 film.
Is it about the one in Kentucky?
It is. It's not that good of a movie.
It's amazing.
It's not. It's okay.
It's you know what it is? I've always identified with that lead character. It's just this guy, and everything's
Orlando
going wrong
Bloom.
for him. Not like I identify with him physically. I mean, I have no idea what it is to look good. But
Seth has always identified with Orlando Bloom.
But the character himself, I've always thought really reminds me of me.
Yeah, like especially at the beginning when he's trying to hang
He's
himself.
trying to
because
commit
his shoe fell
suicide.
apart, because no one liked his shoe.
One of the finest suicide attempts on film ever. He, Alan, he's got one of these. He's got one of these bikes that has the handlebars kind of move back and forth, so you can work out your upper body while you're working out your legs. So he tries to duct tape a knife to it, and then turn it on so it'll.
Oh my goodness!
What?
Great.
Is this a
movie.
comedy?
Like
It
this
is
guy
comedy.
fails so hard in life that you wouldn't think he could possibly fail that hard in his attempted suicide, but he actually one-ups himself in his failure at suicide.
Just a wonderful film.
Yeah.
It's not
And then it's his dad dies, right? It's his dad.
His dad dies, and he has to go back to Elizabethtown to get the body so he can bury it. And it's directed by Cameron Crowe, who's
Cameron Crowe,
one of my favorite directors.
Mr. Crowe.
Mr. Crowe, director of such films as Say
Yeah.
Anything and Jerry Maguire, Vanilla Sky,
Show me the money.
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous. It's an interesting
I
film.
don't think I've seen any of those.
Some of my favorite movies right there, actually. Vanilla Sky, in particular.
Vanilla Sky.
Top 20, right up there. It's a great film.
Wow.
It's,
We're gonna stop. We're just moving on.
Alan, you need to see Vanilla Sky if you haven't seen it.
What's it about?
I'm not going to
Don't
tell you.
watch
Just
it.
run it and watch it. It'll blow your mind.
Watch
Is
it.
there a chocolate or strawberry sky?
There's a sequel called Twist Sky. Soft serve
Chocolate
Twist
Rain?
Sky.
Oh.
Chocolate Rain.
Chocolate rain.
Uh,
I'll move away from the
I
mic
think
to
we
mask
need
my breathing.
to. I think we need to move on.
we should. So tonight we're just gonna.
Hello, and welcome to Take It or Leave It, the part of the show where we skip What's Up with Paul and review books. That's what we're doing, right?
No warning. Yes, that's what we're doing.
Just making sure. 'Cause I thought so, but everybody laughing made me wonder. So,
I'm just laughing because Seth managed to cut me off when it wasn't even my segment or going into my segment.
that's how we do.
Impressive.
So yeah, we're going to review books. No group reviews this week. No Summer of John's hashtag whatever this week. It is just straight up reviewing.
I thought you guys were team reviewing Doctor Who.
We are.
Yeah, but that's not a thing we agreed to, like all of us agreed to ahead of time like we do with Original Sin or...
Okay.
We'll
Something like that.
probably all group review John's Superman too, but that's not really
Oh, is that one book?
doesn't really count either.
Yeah, can we talk about that actually to start this segment?
go for
'Cause
it.
I was going to review that book, so if we're all going to do it, let's get into it.
I was going to review that.
That's
So I
fine.
lied
We'll all
about
do it.
reviewing.
Group review of Superman number 34, written by Jeff Johns, art by John Romita Jr., inks by Klaus Janson,
Klaus?
by Laura Martin. I have to say, I liked this issue well enough, but it was strangely overwritten for a Jeff Johns comic. There was a ton of dialogue, especially early on. I did really enjoy the final bit where we get into this creepy villain with the demented wolf, canine, dog, devil creatures that he's got. I really like that stuff, and I am loving John Romita Jr.'s art.
Oh yeah.
But I thought of the three so far, this was the weakest issue. But that might just be me.
I thought the ending was pretty, like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you do that and you're like, what's going to happen next? So, yeah, but I agree. Other than that, it's like the stuff leading up to it wasn't bad, but it felt, I don't know, it was weird. But it was still enjoyable, especially whenever Superman wakes up and Ulysses is there in his apartment. He's like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was reading it, I actually didn't notice the wordiness. I guess I was pulled into it, but I'm flipping back through it now, and it is wordy. It's very wordy. But I think that John's made a good decision to do that on this issue because it was a lot of backstory. You know, you're learning about Ulysses, what happened to him, and it was a good choice not to throw all that in the first issue and weigh it down.
Agreed.
You know, this was needful exposition, but for me, it really picked up in the last, half, I guess. But around the time Ulysses is in Clark's apartment, just watching him sleep. It's not creepy at all.
I love that. I would.
Yeah, it was
do
great.
that.
I know you would, Seth. I know you would.
Mhm.
It was good. And this Machinist, that's the name, right? Machinist?
Yes.
Scary.
Villeneuve created. Yeah, he really. At first when I first saw him, I was like, that's kind of a cool, design. But he seemed kind of like a throwaway villain at first. I don't know why, but to me, he just kind of said, this, it's just going to be another. But by the end of the issue, I was like, wow, this guy really pulled one over on him.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't Superman use his, which I guess it wouldn't have mattered if he'd used his X-ray vision, but maybe he would have seen that bug thing. And when that bug thing started controlling Ulysses there, I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
This is,
I expected Wonder Woman would, snap somebody's neck.
Yeah.
Because that's what she does to people who control Superman.
Well, there's something I've known was going to happen since this started. Whenever they created this parallel between Seth, what are you doing? I mean, are you intently staring somebody down right now?
I'm still trying to decide. Hey, listen, I took 4 Excedrin earlier today, so I'm fighting just to keep my eyes open.
How are you alive?
I don't know.
Should we call an ambulance?
No, I took 4 Excedrin and then went to see Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was the most trippy experience of my life. I was sitting there like drifting in and out of sleep, and I'd wake up and I wouldn't know where I was, and all of a sudden there's like people screaming on the screen right in front of me, and there's like a talking tree and a raccoon with guns. I was living Guardians of the Galaxy.
Today?
Yes, earlier today.
So you saw it a second time?
I saw it a second time, yes.
I wish I'd seen it a second time.
That's
Anyhow,
great.
I saw it a second time.
Superman, is it 34? Issue 34?
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd say it's the weakest or not. I felt like it's continuing this really strong story by Johns. So I'm curious to see where this is going. I kind of hope this Ulysses character sticks around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah. Something I just realized though, that's issue 34 of Superman, and Justice League is still back on issue 32. So, yeah.
What?
I'm looking at it right now.
They must have missed a couple of months.
Yeah, there must be some.
I think around Forever Evil they did that.
Maybe.
There were some delays around Forever Evil. That's a good point. I actually just picked up the most recent Justice League. I was going to look at it to see if you were just lying.
I'm sorry.
I'll just have to trust you this time.
Yeah, you don't have to. I want to talk. Can I review a comic here?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Okay, it's called The Flash. It's issue number 34.
What?
Do it.
This is a comic written by Robert Venditti with art by Brett Booth. Why are there 2 names, though, on the cover? It says Venditti and Jensen. Apparently it's written by someone named Van Jensen. So, right up front, if you're not a Flash fan, I don't think this run by Venditti will do anything to change your mind about the character. But I've always been a Flash fan, and I'm really enjoying this. It really reminds me of Mark Waid's run on the book. It's extremely comic booky, and there's a lot of this current story arc is very time travel heavy.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's a Flash from the future is coming back to the past to right some wrongs and possibly kill people. It's really interesting. It's the art by Brett Booth is good, and the story arc it's fun. It's comic booky. There's a character that is a mashup. He's called the Mashup Killer, and what he does, I kind of like the idea of it. He goes into the evidence locker and takes weapons from the rogues, and then goes and commits murders with these weapons, and kind of frames rogues who are already in prison. So in this issue, we kind of come to the end of that story arc and find out who the Mashup Killer is, and Barry takes care of him and puts him in prison. And
Murder is bad.
it's yeah. And there's we still have this ongoing story arc. We still have this ongoing story arc going with the Flash from the future, but I've really enjoyed this, and I liked Francis Manapul's and Brian Buccellato's Flash as well, but I kind of fell off of it after a little while. But this one's managing to hold my attention a little better. I will say, Wally West in this is just some punk kid.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm not crazy about Wally. He has no sense of humor. It's not Wally, not even a little bit.
It's really
So-
not. It's just a character they've given the name to try and. Oh, that bugs me so hard.
It really annoys me. I had been defending this decision originally because a lot of people were complaining that he was black and whatever. Like I don't really care about that. I care
Neither.
about the fact that this is not that. This is not Wally West. It's a random character that they stuck the name on.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed this too. Just to chime in, I've really liked this first arc. I'm really interested in the B plot with
Yeah.
Flash traveling through time. Really
Me too.
interested in that.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see how that pans out. But this is an introduction to Wally, and they've hooked you at the beginning with what they've shown what happens in the future with Wally.
Yeah.
And I also like how they actually made that 5 years later thing relevant.
Yeah.
To this B plot, because the
Yeah.
B plot is currently at the 5 years later. Anyhow, Wally's character is an annoying punk kid who thinks his psychopathic uncle who's in prison is this awesome stand-up guy and that the police are all jerks.
Yep.
Nothing about that is Wally West. You know, if you want to make him, I don't care if you want to make him, you know, black or you want to make him Asian, if you want to make him whatever, I don't care about that.
What if they made him a woman?
Wallina West.
That's where I
I'd
draw the
be
line.
okay with Wallina showing up.
No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, if it was the
Flip
same,
him to Thor.
it's true. If it was the same character and he had the same wit and you know he was Wally, then I'd be fine with it. But so far, I haven't seen that, and maybe we'll get there. Maybe we will, but
What if he was an alien?
I wouldn't care.
Okay. What if he was from another dimension?
So I'm gonna review a book.
Go for it.
Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna review a TV show. And Alan's gonna help me.
Oh!
We're gonna review Premiere, and we'll throw the second episode in there because why not? Of Series 8 of Doctor Who on BBC. BBC.
Oh!
So this is the first 2 episodes with Peter Capaldi, as I have recently learned is actually how his name is pronounced.
Is that how you say his name?
It's Capaldi. According to that one guy from The Nerdist, he asked him personally, and he said it was Capaldi.
Chris Hardwick?
Yes.
Oh, I hate that guy. That guy.
He said Capaldi like 30 times on that after Doctor Who special thing I watched. Anyhow, so either way, Capaldi. This guy who is the oldest man to ever play the Doctor, about 1 year. We're given the premiere. Why don't you synopsize that now?
Oh, yeah. So, in the premiere, we see a Tyrannosaurus Rex rampaging through Victorian England. London, in fact. Then suddenly it coughs up the TARDIS. The Doctor comes out, Clara comes out, and they meet up with their good pals from the Victorian era, Strax, and I'm drawing a complete blank.
Madame Vastra?
Vastra and Jenny. Okay. I can't believe I forgot that. I was wanting to say Vishanti, which I think is like a ancient Babylonian goddess or something.
Something.
But anyway, so they meet up with them. The Doctor's having trouble figuring out who he is. Clara's having trouble coping with the Doctor having eyebrows like that, and
They're
plus
angry.
being, you know, different. And so they go on an adventure to figure out what's up with this T-Rex and what is up with these murders where people are just burning to death, spontaneous human combustion. And along the way, Clara learns what it means to accept people for who they are and for their eyebrows,
And for their wrinkly old faces.
wrinkly old faces, and general grumpiness.
Yeah, I'm going to take a shot at surmising the second episode.
Do it.
So the second episode is called Into the Dalek, and akin to some 80s films, the Doctor and Clara are shrunk down to a very, very small size, and they actually go inside of a Dalek that has developed some sort of a flaw and is mortally wounded. And it's a story about the Doctor and how that he has a prejudice against all Daleks, and this Dalek appears to be what he doesn't believe exists, a good Dalek. And as they go in and discover what's hurting him and what's caused him to be messed up, they fix it, and when it does, he reverts to his evil Dalek self and begins to attack everyone inside this base where they're at. Of course, the Doctor figures out a way to stop it, actually manages to reconvert the Dalek once again, and we learn something about the Doctor.
Yeah. It's basically the Fantastic Voyage, but with a Dalek and the Doctor.
Exactly. And these first 2 episodes have presented a lot of questions.
Including questions about stuff.
Including questions about who this Doctor is and if he is on the up and up.
Whether he's a hugger or not.
I don't think he's a hugger.
He's not.
I could tell by that awkward non-hug at the end of the first episode.
The way his hands are just kind of flailing out there.
Yeah. He also is not very remorseful.
No. He's
not very. Yeah, that's right. He's not very compassionate, even. Really.
Yeah. And it's put into question whether he has problems with murder. Which
he doesn't like soldiers.
He doesn't like soldiers, which I thought was weird.
It's a strange.
But Clara's okay with soldiers, especially if they're
apparently
handsome.
Yes, strapping young men. So, just to wrap this up, Alan, what do you think of Capaldi so far as the Doctor?
I loved the first episode. I thought it did a great job putting the viewers in Clara's place and speaking directly to them, which I was nervous, but not like everybody else was, where it was like, oh no, he's old. Which I understand their concern, them having only seen young guys play the Doctor. Sure. But I thought that was brilliant writing, and it was humorous and awesome. The second one, it was still solid. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I didn't dislike it necessarily. I had trouble understanding people talking on the second one, but that's probably just my ears, and I don't have good closed captioning on my TV because it does that black box thing where it's like the black box and the white writing, and it's like, ew, I'd rather just not know what they're saying.
Part of that is sound editing by BBC too. The way they do their sound is sometimes hard to catch it all at once. I actually watched it a second time and caught a lot of one-liners that I missed the first time around.
Yeah, I was planning to do the same. I loved the first episode though, and the second one was weird, the whole being inside a Dalek thing. But that's, it was something that was cool to see, and the whole can a Dalek be good thing, and the way it spoke to whether the Doctor's a good man. That thing that we'd been seeing in the trailer. I thought that was clever.
Yeah. I won't drag on for it with it so we can move on from this, because Alan and I could literally do a 30-minute show on these 2 episodes.
We could. Echo Rift did, in fact. 40-minute show. It was really good.
Maybe we'll just do it in ancillary random episodes.
Yeah.
Doctor Who. I loved the first episode, especially after a second viewing, because my first viewing was jank because of the weather. It killed the satellite. Sorry. But I really loved it. I wasn't nervous about Capaldi being old, just nervous about a new actor being the Doctor, because Matt Smith is the best. And I really liked the second episode, but I just don't know. This Doctor, they're going somewhere with this Doctor, some places, into darkness, as he said.
Into darkness, like Star Trek.
Just like Star Trek. Seth, you want to review something else, or you want us to review a comic?
You guys just do what you want, man. I'm just along for the ride.
Man, you just follow your heart.
Just follow your
heart. It's very comic-y.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's called Turtles in Time, #3.
Oh, snap.
Have you been reading this, Paul? Turtles in Time?
I think I missed #3.
Oh, it just came out this past week.
It was not in my holds.
Okay. So to give the premise, have you read the annual?
No, I haven't. I just got it today.
Okay. This isn't a spoiler because they talked about this.
It's okay.
If you read Turtles in Time #1. But basically, in the annual, the Turtles meet up with a time traveler named Renette. But Turtles in Time 1 and 2 came out before that, and they met up with Renette, and it was like, oh, well, you don't know her yet, but it's because time travel. Woo! So, anyway, in the first issue, they go to dinosaur times. In the second issue, they go to feudal Japan. In this issue, they get whisked away to a pirate ship. And it's written by Eric Burnham and drawn by Bates, Ben Bates, that's the word. That's the guy. And it's basically like, it's had a different writer, I think, in the first issue, and it's had the same writer the last 2 issues, but different artists. Anyway, the art's good. I like the art in this one especially. It gets that piratey feel just right. And Michelangelo, he's on there, and he gives this big pep talk that's amazing and hilarious because it's profound, but in his really simple, goofy way. And all the pirates start to look up to him, and they go to take on this pirate called Kraken. Because these are honorable pirates. They're the only privateer, which basically means they're legally pirating from rival nations.
Mm-hmm.
So they're noble pirates, but the Kraken's evil. So they go to fight him, and it's a really cool pirate battle.
Stereotyping.
And they have a laser gun.
Racial stereotyping of the Kraken.
The Kraken?
On the Kraken?
It's not an actual Kraken.
There's probably some Krakens out there who are just fine.
Well, that's just the pirate's name. He's not himself a Kraken. He's not a squid.
I'm sorry.
He's actually...
I must have not been listening.
Turns out he's actually one of the Krang, the Utroms.
Oh!
And apparently everywhere the Turtles have been in time had something to do with the Krang to some degree. So anyway, I enjoyed it. It was hilarious. We got to see pirates. We got to see Michelangelo with the pirates was just the best. He was hilarious. And even the pirate characters, like I'd love to see more with that captain from the pirate. He seemed like a really cool guy. But yeah, I'm taking it. It's good stuff. All the series. There's one issue left, which seems like it's going to be in the future. From what I saw the preview. So it's a 4-issue series. I highly recommend it all.
You know, I'm going back and reading Turtles in Trade, and I just read The Sins of the Father, Volume 4, and I'm halfway through Krang War.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget how good these are until I pick them up and read them. They're just very entertaining.
They are.
Like, they're not... I'd have a hard time saying they're... Well, I mean, they're great for what they are, but they're so... I hear a lot of people kind of bag on them, and like they're just nostalgia factor thing, and I think they're more than that. I think they're very entertaining action superhero comics.
Some of them are very well written, and some of the emotional stuff is great. Like the stuff with Slash.
The post, the Slash stuff's been really good, but the post City Fall or whatever it is, there was a 3-issue art that Ross Campbell did.
Yeah, it's called Northampton.
Yeah, great little story arc. I had to read those ahead of time because I wanted to see Campbell's art.
And it was gorgeous.
I just thought I'd chime in on that. Speaking of Turtles, did you know that Turtles was number 2 at the box office this week again? So it stayed in the top 5 of the box office since the week it came out, and Guardians of the Galaxy is back to number 1.
Yeah, it's the number 1 movie of the year in America right now.
Yeah, but Turtles is doing great.
It is. I'm impressed. It's
Turtles.
It's been a huge hit with the families.
Yeah, a lot of kids are loving it too. So
I want to throw out a power review, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, go for it.
Batman and Robin, the exact issue numbers, I can't remember. I think it's 24 through whatever. It's actually not called Batman and Robin. It's called Batman and Two-Face. I've been playing catch up on that. I actually read like 13 issues in one night last week. Caught up.
I've been playing Mustard.
Yeah, he's been playing Mustard while I've been playing catch up. This is the story, the New 52 recreating really, of the origin of Two-Face. It's so good.
It's
Did you read
tragic.
this? Did you read this, Seth?
No. No. I don't. Well, wait. Which issues?
It's like 24. Like the current issue, the Search for Robin and stuff.
Yeah.
It ends with the issue before that.
I've read the stuff that had like Frankenstein. I've read a bunch of this, but
that stuff's all right after Batman and Two-Face.
okay. I don't know that I read the Two-Face.
If you didn't, you need to go back and read it. It is a great
Let me see.
enclosed story. It tells one big story. Gleason and Tomasi are as good on these 5 issues as they've ever been.
Yeah, I read up to issue 19, and then I didn't read from 19 to 29.
Yeah, so you skipped right over where it's at. It's in there. You need to get it because I'm gonna
buy these in hardcover, so I'll get it.
Okay. See, I haven't been buying B&R in hardcover simply because I haven't been buying the issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I'm hoping they'll eventually release some sort of a mega collection of it all. But I'm going to buy that Batman and Two-Face as a collection if they do it because it's great. It's tragic, too. The ending, oh, my gosh. I had to go back and just look at the first issue of the series the first issue of the arc ties into the last issue of the arc, something that happens with Two-Face. And I had to go back and look at it again and just, oh, man.
Yeah, I've been doing catch up on Scott Snyder's. I just finished City Fall, or not City Fall. What's it called? Zero Year.
I haven't finished it yet.
I mean, compared to this, I think this book blows that book out of the water. I'm not crazy about Scott Snyder's Batman, and this is so much better.
This Batman and Two-Face story is, it honestly reminded me of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
Especially
good.
the stuff with the Irish people, like the gangsters.
I mean, and some of the covers were even I was like, wow, they're really channeling Bruce Timm here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so good.
All right, we need to wrap up. We're doing a short show tonight. We will return later this week with our first episode of the month of Flash. We're starting off with the Blitz story arc by Jeff Johns and Scott Collins. So, if you have not read that, you can read along by going back and getting the issue numbers. I don't have them in front of me, but it's a story arc called Blitz.
Blitz.
So, feel free to read along. I'm not sure yet what night we're going to be recording, but we should have that episode up by next weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
And don't forget to leave us a rating and review on iTunes, and find us on the web at ancillarycharacters.com. Find us on Twitter at Ancillary Tweets. Find me on Twitter at Seth Breeds Love. Find Paul on Twitter at JollyReno5. And find Alan on Twitter at KAlanGoon. I'm trying to think of what else I need to say.
Letters.
The email address is ancillarycharacters@gmail until I renew our .com address, because for some reason it just disappeared overnight without me realizing it.
Wow.
So do that, and if you like Paul and Alan, check out their podcast, Turtle Jump.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Turtle
Jump Show.
At Turtle Jump Show. Yeah, there you go. And that does it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back.
Awesome.
Did y'all hear that rhythmic pounding
No.
on my feed? Somebody upstairs was hammering something.
Interesting.
And there were little bits. It was partly while I was talking, but when I wasn't talking, I could see that it was picking up on my mic. So
Hey, send me these. Send me these as soon as you can, and I'm gonna try to edit them either tonight or tomorrow morning so we can get it up quick.